the community health fair, lip sync, and the list goes on. Attendance at farmers market and community fairs. Where we held a community-wide town hall. We made 6 deputations to town and district councils and local MPP. Plus, spoke at a provincial conference. A huge thank you to our town for the offer of space at the Opera House and Centennial Center to put on some of these events. Thank you. It has been an exciting start, but now, when the donations start coming in, it gets really exciting. Funding has been sought and secured from the town and the District of Muskoka and from all of you sponsors and donors. $1 million is a huge amount of money to have been collected in a short period of time, approximately 7 months. But we can't stop now. We are determined to keep our community members involved and enthusiastic to encourage donations. To this end, we are planning more events. Doris and Ivy, live theater at the Opera House in April, Spirit of Scotch in May, golf tournament in June, Steve Ray concert again in June, a Winona cruise in August, lip sync in October, plus a number of events that are in the planning process. So keep an eye out for all these events and please support them. I started by saying one cannot thank another person too many times. Well, I would like to end by repeating this. Thank you.
Thank you, Barb. Is there any reason not to understand why we selected Barb and Dr. Tina Cross to be our cake cutters for today? And on that note, I'd like to bring up our third speaker, Dr. Tina Kapos, Chair, Cottage Country Family Health Team.
It's an honor to be here today to represent Cottage Country Family Health Team and to extend our gratitude to all those people in the room and this community that have helped get us to this point and beyond. Over the years, the empty space in this building has been a reminder as to both possibility and missed opportunity. From the Cottage Country Family Health Team perspective, despite the clear need and the strong case for investment, the resources simply weren't available. The result was a space that sat vacant for years, full of potential, but out of reach. While our healthcare providers continue to work in tight quarters, and our ability to recruit new clinicians was limited by our physical restraints. That's why today is so meaningful. The turning point in this story wasn't new policy, wasn't an influx of government dollars. It was the partnership with the Rotary Club of Gravenhurst. Rotary stepped in with generosity, with leadership, and a belief in the vision. They saw the need, they understood the impact, and they chose to act. Their involvement didn't just provide donations. It unlocked momentum that had been stalled for years. It transformed a long-standing challenge into a community-driven success. And for that, we are deeply grateful. To Rotary, thank you for your commitment to strengthening healthcare in our region. Your support has changed what is possible for us, and to the broader community, thank you for strengthening our project and for recognizing the importance of accessible primary care in our community. For investing in a healthier future for everyone who calls this area home, and this has been a truly collective achievement. For our current healthcare providers, this renovation will be transformative. It means a modern, functional, purpose-built space that supports collaboration and high-quality care. It means working in an environment that reflects the professionalism and dedication that our staff bring every day. And it significantly enhances our ability to recruit new providers. When clinicians consider joining a team, it is the physical environment that matters. A well-designed, well-purposed space signals that this is a community that values the healthcare system and the people who deliver that care. This project positions us to attract the talent we need to meet growing demand and to sustain services long into the future. Our vision for this space is simple: a place that reflects the heart of this community. A place where patients feel welcomed and supported, where providers can work efficiently and collaboratively, and where we can continue to expand services in ways that respond to the unique needs of our Muskoka region. This renovation is about more than construction. It's about capacity and the future of primary care here at home. So once again, thank you to the Rotary Club of Gravenhurst, and thank you to the community. Your belief and your partnership have made this possible, and we are excited for everything this space will allow us to do moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kappels. Build it and they will come. Gravenhurst Health Hub, comprised of the Rotary Club of Gravenhurst and Cottage Country Family Health Team, are the driving force behind this, but we needed leadership from all levels of government, and we have that. And now at this point, I'd like to bring Mayor Heidi Lorenz to speak to some of the improvements that she has helped us achieve and what this project means for the town.
To follow, but I'll do my best here. Good morning. It's my pleasure to be with you all here today. I'd like to introduce my fellow council members. The gang is all here. That doesn't happen very often. So we will start with Councillor Cairns, Councillor Penny Varney, Councillor Michelle Robinson, Councillor Sandy Cairns, we all know her first name, Penny Varney, Councillor Michelle Robinson, Councillor Aaron Strength, Councillor Christina Hunter. I know that we call him Deputy Dog, Deputy Mayor Randy Jorgensen is here, and Peter Johnston is right here, and Councillor Joe Morphy. So thank you for joining us. I don't think any of us would miss it. I'd also like to recognize our CEO, Scott Lucas, is here over by the cake. We also have the CEO of the district here, and the Commissioner of Health Services, Norm. He's in the corner. Hello, Norm. I'd also like to thank our friends, MPP, Associate Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, Graydon Smith, and District Chair of Muskoka, Jeff Lehman, for joining us today. I would also like to say thank you to Lindsay Donaldson, who loves the spotlight, in assisting setting up for today's event. But I want to be clear who the real heroes are, and that's this community. Cottage Country Family Health Team and the incredible Gravenhurst Rotary Club and the generous donors, many here today and watching online, whose generosity will be remembered for generations. As many of you know, the town and the good people at Cottage Country Family Medical Team have been working together for a few years now to advance the development of the second level. The town took action. I had a quick word with our previous treasurer, Ken Watson was around at the time, to improve the lives of our residents all those years ago with the donation of land for the existing space. The vision of expanding services and creating more clinical space for additional primary care, even dreaming of diagnostic imaging on 2 stories, has always been the goal. But there was a piece of the puzzle missing: money. So how did we get here? In July of 2024, Gravenhurst Rotary Club wrapped up an incredible fundraising project, Rotary Rocks the Barge, an outstanding addition to Gull Lake Rotary Park. A huge undertaking in a long line of impactful joint projects with the town. You might think, after such a grind, they would be ready for some rest. But not this group. They were just getting started. In one of the town's meetings with Cottage Country Family Health Team, our enthusiastic treasurer / Rotarian, Ross Jeffries, suggested this might be something that our Rotary Club would take on. The seed was planted. In August 2024, after a meeting with the town Rotary members and Cottage Country Family Health Team, John Latour and Bruce Hemphill, armed with a yet to be approved financial commitment from the town, sorry council, but how could they refuse? Agreed to go to their membership and propose the project, and as they often do, Rotarians agreed to put service before self. I am sure I'm not alone in being gobsmacked in how quickly this tenacious group mobilized. They recruited many dedicated people and created a number of subcommittees and came up with a plan. The work goes well beyond the fantastic events. They have made contact with just about everyone in the healthcare realm. They are relentless, but in the very best way. This project is an incredible example of how like-minded people can do extraordinary things. This is collaboration to its core, and the town is proud to have played a very small part. The success belongs to the community. We would not be here without the Gravenhurst Rotary Club. For the town's part, we will continue participating in regional recruitment efforts, advocating for primary care, and working with all stakeholders to get this over the finish line. It has been my greatest honor to be able to participate in sharing this initiative and what some may think was an unusual approach to expanding primary care in Gravenhurst. You have created a concept that is attracting attention across the province and has been discussed at both AFTO and Roma conferences. This is a really big deal. When this was merely an idea, in August 2024, I had the opportunity to meet with Minister of Health Sylvia Jones, and I shared this concept. Reflecting back, I wonder if she thought it was a long shot. You have no idea how incredibly proud I felt to report your progress to her just a week ago. I hope she takes me up on the offer to visit soon. On behalf of Council and the people of Gravenhurst, I want to thank District of Muskoka for matching the town's financial contribution, the generous donors, who we wouldn't be here without, Graydon Smith for his ongoing support and guidance, Cottage Country Family Health Team for the vision, and of course, the Gravenhurst Rotary Club. You folks are unstoppable. Thank you.
What Heidi failed to mention is that last October, we sent a delegation down to the Association of Family Health Teams of Ontario, and we presented in one of their outbreak rooms. We had one of the largest turnout for people there. Following up on that, AFTO reached out to us and asked if we would do an online webinar to repeat that presentation for the entire province. And that's scheduled for next week, and Heidi will be there with the rest of us presenting again. Next up is Jeff Lehman, Chair, District of Muskoka.
I was trying to hide.
I was following you, Jeff. Jeff, over to you.
Thanks. Did you want me to use that? No, we're good. All right. Well, good morning. What an honor to represent District Council here today on an incredible day for Gravenhurst. Minister Smith is here, members of District Council, members of Gravenhurst Council, and of course all of you as community and healthcare leaders. This is, as Mayor Lorenzo aptly said, a remarkable community accomplishment, remarkable in so many ways for its vision, its unique model, as we have just heard, becoming a model for elsewhere, and for the speed with which it was put together for a community of any size to accomplish what you have to this point in this project, in this period of time, is absolutely remarkable. The District of Muskoka, of course, we build. As Graydon oft has said, the district was created to do some of the big things that we can do together across Muskoka, and whether that's building a new main street on Highway 117 in Baysville, housing in Bracebridge and here in Gravenhurst, the Port Carling Pavilion, new ambulance station in Muskoka Lakes. The biggest things we often do are in partnership with the province of Ontario. And so whether we're talking about hospital redevelopment, the Fairburn Home, new 162-bed long-term care home in Huntsville, or infrastructure, indeed the pipes and roads that support growth in our communities, we work together closely with the province to deliver what we need to build a better Muskoka. In healthcare, and with this hub and our modest contribution, which we are honored to be able to make, we're continuing a history of supporting healthcare facilities. You know, healthcare in Canada is a system that includes everyone, all kinds of levels of organization, all levels of government, but is driven by the leadership of visionaries who see a better way to deliver the system. And so earlier this year, as mentioned, or last year, I suppose late last year, District Council was pleased to support this project through a $200,000 gift to support the renovation of the space here. And Dr. Kapelos, thank you for that description of the potential of what's upstairs and the fact that the communities come together to make this happen. I think it's important to note that with the support and leadership of Dr. Jane Philpott, the province of Ontario has made remarkable progress, and I won't steal Graydon's thunder, on expanding primary care providers. And what we can do as a community is get behind their efforts to help attract primary care providers, to give them the space, to give them the welcome and the supports that are needed to ensure that people have primary care. And I think that aligns very closely with our own priorities at the District of Muskoka, supporting access to care across our region. I have the honor of co-chairing with Dr. Keith Cross our ALC task force within the Muskoka-Algonquin Ontario Health Team. And alternate level of care patients, of course, are those who could be in a different care environment, should be in a different care environment, perhaps, than the hospital. And the work that we are doing together is very much based in home first principles, based in access in our communities to the services that people need so they don't have to go to the hospital in the first place. But if they do arrive there, that they're able to find the care environment that they need across Muskoka. And I see this project, speaking as the co-chair of that committee, I see this project as absolutely core to what we're trying to accomplish. We're trying to create a healthcare system in many places with many levels, but fundamentally that has access for people in the community. So it is easier to find and use the services you need and to get the support and help that you need closer to home. And this is a remarkable day for Gravenhurst because this project will in every way benefit all of those. And that's the fourth test, if I think I'm right, in Rotary. Will it be beneficial to all concerned? I think that's test number 4, right? We know it'll build goodwill. Look at the goodwill in this room. So you pass the third test. But that fourth test of being beneficial to all concerned, when you come together in this way, and I want to echo Mayor Lorenz's apt remarks, that this is an accomplishment of the community, and nobody can drive a project like Rotary. I have seen this in communities across the country, but here in Muskoka most especially. The way that Rotary gets behind something, raises money, brings the energy, it pushes all of us politicians. And that's a really great thing to be following community leadership in supporting projects that are beneficial for all concerned. And so it's an honor on behalf of the district to be here and make a few remarks. But most of all, I want to join the other leaders here today in congratulating all of you who have put so much effort and accomplished so much in such a short period of time. This is going to benefit people for generations to come. So congratulations.
Thank you, Jeff, for that. This is truly a legacy project. And as Jeff just mentioned, it will help people shortly and future generations moving forward. Rotary is here for the long haul. We will finish this project off. I'd like to take a minute now to introduce Graydon Smith, our MPP from Parry Sound Muskoka, Associate of Municipal Affairs and Housing. Graydon?
Well, good morning, everybody, and what a pleasure it is to be here today. Always great to come to a celebration, and there is truly no better way to celebrate than by getting a lot of people together that have put a lot of time, energy, sweat equity, and dollars into a project that is going to have a massively positive impact for the community of Gravenhurst. So the first thing I want to say this morning is congratulations. Congratulations to everybody that has spent their time, their dollars, their energy making this happen. And just to the comments about Mayor Lorenz and her talking about this project in various places and to various people, you know, that Roma conference is pretty big. There's 2,000 delegates at it. And so when she's up on stage talking about the great things that are happening in Gravenhurst, there's a lot of ears listening, a lot of people listening, the government listening, a lot of people that are looking for solutions in their community and now looking to Gravenhurst and the leadership position that they've taken to make great things happen for healthcare. So congratulations to you, Mayor, for being not only a great representative of this project, but a great representative of your community throughout Ontario. You've been doing an outstanding job delivering that message. And I was just talking with Minister Jones on the way down here this morning, or at least texting, not talking. Told her I was on the way down. So if she did have any doubt, Your Worship, that this was going to take place, well, she knows it now after your meeting last week and after the text this morning, and she sends her congratulations as well. You know, it is just an outstanding pleasure to be your representative across this entire riding. And one of the great things I get to do, of course, is join into many community celebrations. And a lot of those celebrations and conversations are around healthcare and how we can work together and continue to build communities. Obviously, healthcare is maybe the number one conversation in communities and housing. So I guess I've got a lot of work to do in my ministerial portfolio to keep working on these important files. But I relish that work and the conversations. And what I've seen, whether it's throughout this riding or throughout Ontario, is that the communities that succeed and that are really delivering for the people that they represent and that they live with and that are friends and neighbors are the ones that can rally around common cause. And this has been a great project to rally around and get everybody excited. And again, Rotary took that leadership position and has really run with it. So again, congratulations to everybody. When this happens, like I said, people notice. When the government sees that people are working together and have that common cause, and that it would be a shame if they weren't involved. That makes that next conversation easier. So I will tell you, without any hesitation, that I know that there's been an application made to the Northern Ontario Heritage Fund for this project, and I am beating the bushes every day to make sure that we see that contribution happen. Government is usually the tortoise in the hare story. They might think they're being a hare sometimes, but they're always the tortoise. They always move slowly and deliberately. But I have taken every opportunity I could to share the good news that has come out of this project, with board members when I can, to let them know that if there's a project that should be and deserves the support out there, it's this one. And I'm proud to continue to play that role of advocate for this project wherever I can to get more money into the hopper. So, those actuals are higher and higher to allow this project to continue. And also to, really talk about the pride that I feel for, again, the people that I represent, and sharing the good news stories and talking with my colleagues about all the amazing things that happen across the riding and in this community of Gravenhurst. So thanks to Chair Lehman for talking about what we work on together, which is a significant amount of getting things built. As he said, it's pipes, it's roads, it's bridges, it's healthcare, it's a lot of things. And we'll keep, being that tortoise, maybe with a little tap in the shell every once in a while to speed it up, but to try and win that race and make sure that there's a great outcome for the people in the riding. And of course, today, thinking of the people specifically in Gravenhurst and South Muskoka. So thanks to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Graydon, for that. It's not too often that an opportunity comes along where you can be a part of something bigger than yourself and be able to show what your contribution is. And for the donors and sponsors that are currently here, know that if your name has been scrolled across the screen over the course of this event, your name will be included on the recognition wall that we will have up at the end of this project. Thank you so much for all of that donations and sponsorship. We're moving now to the next phase of the presentation here, and we've talked about the money that we've raised and what we plan to do, but now we're going to show you what that new space might look like. So I'm going to turn it over to Chris Tyrell, the building committee, and Chris is going to present and speak to just exactly what we've got planned for you. Chris?
Good morning, everybody. It's an honor to be here. I actually want to start by, it's an honor to be on the steering committee. It's an honor to be a Rotarian, but also on the steering committee and the building committee. It is a composition of members that are just outstanding, and they're very motivated. They're all very professional. But I also want to raise, and one thing that's understated, and he's very humble, is Bruce. He is an absolute fantastic leader of the steering committee. And I want to give him a round of applause. So my job is just to give you some insights to what Phase 1 really will achieve at the end of the day. And Dr. Kapos gave us some good insights to this adjoining building and what the opportunity is above that first floor. And as you can see on the screens over here, it's 12,000 square feet of unfinished space. Basically everything's there. It's a shell. And there was good floor planning when they built the place. It's got the duct drops, the rooftop HVAC units or heating, ventilation, cooling units. It's got an access elevator already fully commissioned and working. And it's got terrific perimeter lighting through natural window installations and what have you. So essentially, Phase 1 is to finish this space to a move-in ready for tenants and others to build out the services that we've been talking about. So let me give you a little bit of insight. Where am I playing this? There we go. Now I have to go back. There we are. So we've described this thing as Phase 1 of 3 phases. So Phase 1 is really what we're talking about today, completing that space in the core areas, the common areas, if you will. I'll get into that in a few seconds to show you the drawing. It readies the space for Phase 2 and 3. Phase 1 basically gets all of the walls up, the ceilings, the floors, the finishings. But Phase 2 is more of the tenant space, leasehold improvements, and moving some of the services downstairs, upstairs to allow expansion of the clinical spaces downstairs. So it's really, Phase 1 is the real key, and all other phases are dependent on getting this completed on time and on budget. So we went through a process. So Cottage Country Family Health Team owns and operates the building. And so they are the contracting party. So they hired an architect and consultant that helped us with the design of the floor plan, essentially the tender documents and what have you, and will ultimately be the construction management staff that helps us through the completion of the project. Rotary developed a steering committee, as Bruce pointed out, and that steering committee also has a subcommittee, the building committee, which Lorraine chairs. So we've been pulled together. We're members of Cottage Country, Rotary, and the community. So we've got a good composition within the building committee to make some good choices and selections of how this thing's going to roll out. The project was designed and tendered, or ready for tender in September of this year. We got it through the Muskoka Bids and Tender portal released in October, and it closed in December 2025. And so now the building committee has got together and we've gone through a selections process that will land on a final contractor. That's still under, final negotiations and will be announced, a couple of weeks from now, but it still needs approvals and what have you. So that's where we're at. The way is, right now, the contractor that is ultimately sort of ready to go would be ready sort of early to mid-February. They forecast a sort of 4.5-month project, so that would put us into July for completion, which is essentially what we had planned in the early days of the project. So we're on our target and on budget. So if you look on the screens, really the scope of phase 1 is really the core, the white sort of boundaries of the upper floor there. You'll see the tenant spaces on both sides of the core and then the future health hub on the back end. But the phase 1 really gets to getting all of the core walls, architectural, mechanical, electrical, infrastructure installed, so ultimately the tenants can occupy their space and do their leasehold improvements as a follow-on in phase 2. So specifically, phase 1 is going to get sort of the demising walls up, the finishings within the building, the lighting, the electrical, the heating, air conditioning, the bathroom facilities finished. All of that area in the white is essentially what will be completed to a move-in ready kind of perspective. Just to give you a bit of it's more of an isometric kind of 3D, just to orientate yourself a little bit better. The common areas are right in the center. The tenant spaces are on the top and the bottom, and then the future health hub is on the back wall. So what's it look like as a finished product? So our architect took the floor plan, took our specifications, and gave us what this would ultimately lead to. And Tina kind of laid out that we were really trying to get to a professional-looking medical office building that would be inviting for those that we were really trying to recruit to this community. And so you can see, and I'll orientate you, that's the elevator area and a bathroom to the right, but that's the hallway. You can see it's very finished, very professional looking, very well lit, very architecturally pleasing and modern. So, that's just one view, but there's the corridor view. I'm not sure if it doesn't look as, kind of looks skewed to my rear, looking at it on an angle, but that's kind of what it looks like from looking down one of the halls. And then you've got the other end where you're looking down both halls through the corridor because it's sort of around the common areas. Those doors open up to the spaces, the tenant spaces and what have you, which will be covered in leasehold improvements in phase 2. But you can see it's very professional looking and finished and inviting for those that want to join the Cottage Country team here. So that's it. I thank you, and I'll turn it back to Tom.
We will build it so that they can come. So that ends the entire roster of speakers right now, and we're getting ready to open it up to the floor. We also have those that are online through live streaming at our Gravenhurst Health Hub YouTube site that will be given the opportunity to ask questions as well through the chat line feature. So at this point, I'm going to open the floor up to any questions you might have for any of those that have spoken today. Yes, sir.
Just to nail down the time frame, you hope to have your contractor by February. So when realistically, just to make sure that we understand this, when realistically will actual work start upstairs? March, did you say? March?
I believe it's going to be February, but Chris, did you want to take that question? The question was, when will the actual work begin upstairs for phase 1?
February will be sort of a mid-February start. And the contractor moves on site, takes over the upstairs, and essentially will be scheduled with a completion date of sometime in July.
So the contractor will be hired early February according to that timeline?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
Because you already have one in line. You're just going to negotiate.
That's correct. The process is to get to a signed contract, and the contract takes, a negotiation of the contract is a longer process. Thank you.
Any other questions? Mark Claremont.
So I'd like to jump ahead
Sure.
to after the summer, I guess it'd be this summer. Where does the project stand as far as recruiting people, tenants? Is there work underway right now? Is it Dr. Campos that does that sort of work?
No spoilers, but understand that there is so much going on in the background, so much good news
Right.
that is just on the cusp of being able to announce. So all I can say is stay tuned. We did have a guest that wasn't able to make it over due to the weather, and that is a fellow by the name of David Gravel. He is Cottage Country Family Health Team physician recruiter,
Sure.
and he's doing an amazing job. So when we build it, they will come.
He's saying hi virtually.
Oh, David just
David
said,
says hi.
David says hi. Do you have a question for David? We'll put him on the spot here. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. What would be the suite of services that are going to be offered? I know you're looking at various tenants, as you call them, obviously various practitioners and such. So what are the kind of services that would be available to us now that we currently don't have?
Building Services is currently working on that, and it's very dynamic. I suppose I could put Lorraine or Trish on the spot and ask them to speak to that.
Yeah, I think, well, I'll put a plug in here because we've also put an application into the ministry for an expansion of our primary care team that we're waiting to hear from in the spring. So some of it is highly contingent on that. Some of the tenants you will see moving into the upstairs space is Paramed and Dynacare, which we're looking at negotiating moving up so that we can get primary care downstairs. So there's a couple of variables that are at play before we can say exactly what those services are going to be. But the idea is that number one, primary care across the board is to expand because of the number of people who are under and unattached in the region. But to be determined is what I would say. Yeah.
In state of flux.
It is, yes.
Progress, I should say. Progress.
Absolutely in a state of flux. There is tremendous interest in this space up there, and the magic happens. The magic that we're all waiting for will happen when phase 2 is completed upstairs. Any other questions? Yes, right.
I just want to quantify what you just said. High interest from outside physicians to come here, high interest from outside medical operations to come here. Can you quantify what you meant by high interest?
There is a lot of people that are interested in moving to Gravenhurst, either doctors, nurse practitioners. And before I get ahead of myself, no spoilers, there's a lot of interest for completing the space upstairs that will allow us to not just have primary health care for the 6,000 plus people in our community, but an entire suite of associated programs that would go with that. Nothing's locked down, nothing's put in place, so it's really not appropriate for me to say any more on that.
When do you think it will be locked down?
That's entirely up to Building Services, and that is all in the works, and we know David Gravel is hustling for us as well. So
So next summer, you may have people upstairs doing obviously you said there's gonna be some people on the ground floor who are going to move upstairs, that's a given there, right? But what new service, would there be new services in the summer?
What
No
I'm
spo-
gonna
no
say
spoilers.
is like advocate to the province. Because again, going back to, this is very highly contingent on our proposal to expand services as to what that space will look like. And we should know in the spring whether we're successful in getting that proposal.
So this is the cart before the horse type of thing there, right?
It's not a cart before the horse kind of thing. It's the space regardless, like, is going to have additional primary care. It's a little bit more complicated to go into because physicians, they already rent space with Cottage Country, so they can rent space as well, right? So just the composition of what that's going to look like is highly dependent on a number of variables. There's also conversations about primary care teaching unit. Can that be in the space? And there's some funding attached to that. So some of this is very contingent on government decisions. And then other pieces are community members or community healthcare services who are interested, like Dynacare, like Paramed, who may be interested in some of those other tenant spaces. So there's kind of a column A and a column B of services that could fit into that.
But essentially, people are really expecting for $1 million to have doctors and nurse practitioners who are equal there, right? So I mean, you're gonna have a nice empty space up there, but it's got nice walls there, right?
No, I highly doubt that we would have an empty space with just walls. Regardless, like I said, what that looks like exactly will be dependent on some government decisions, but it will be filled and we will have expanded primary care. David is working on recruiting physicians to the additional spaces that are in the building, so that I could say from a 95% certainty that will happen. So, and Tina could speak to that as well.
And there have been physicians
The
that
cart and the horse are competing.
Okay.
And Mark, there have
It's
been
a race.
physicians that have expressed an interest, but our physical restraint, the constraints rather, here, just didn't allow us to have those doctors set up. So hopefully by freeing up some of that clinical space on the main level where we will be able to recruit those interested parties to
So
come.
would it be safe to say that if we don't have the space, nobody's coming?
Correct.
Yep,
Correct.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, so there has been interest.
We've actually declined like physicians who have wanted to come because we just don't have the space and found other spots for them across Muskoka, so.
It would be irresponsible to really speak to any details, but what I can say is that there are a lot of exciting conversations taking place. And Gravenhurst Health Hub is split into committees. So if you think of Highway 401, east or westbound, each of those lanes has got a committee that's moving towards their particular portion of it. And everybody is at different positions on the highway. Of course, everybody wants to be in front, but that can't always happen. Was there a question back there?
Yes, but the gentleman was ahead of me and
Brett.
I'll be chivalrous and.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, mine's gonna be a while. Go ahead.
With the increased utilization of this space, are you envisioning any kind of construction on the parking lot to increase the parking spaces as well? Because even now getting here, I have to kind of squeeze in with a shoehorn and we're not exactly even operating the facilities.
Okay, I'm from the fundraising side, right? But I do know that the town is looking at expanding the parking lot. Other than that, I can't say anymore. They understand that there'll be more traffic and they're looking into that. Would there be anybody, Scott, that might want to speak to this? Or?
Yeah, I'm happy to. Yeah, there's certainly some constraints, and fortunately we were able to do a snow lift a couple days ago to make a little bit more space out there for today. But the parking lot was designed on the premise of stuff happening in that second floor. So at this point we'll see how things go. We also have the health unit who occupies some space on the other side of the building. We're in discussions with them about their needs as well. So we're taking a look at it. It's less about the number of spots and more about the functionality of it that we're taking a look at. But in terms of number of spaces, it was originally designed on something happening up there.
Okay, Brett, did you have a question?
Yeah, speaking in numbers, which translates into money, we're talking about phase one. And I do believe the chair had mentioned that he's confident that phase two will also be completed this year. What about phase three? We haven't heard a lot today about phase three. How confident is the steering committee for money and infrastructure in completing phase three within its time frame?
Bruce, would you like to answer that?
As I mentioned in my speech, phase three has a lot to do with diagnostic imaging, and phase three is something that we still don't have hard costs for. We were pretty confident about our costs for phase one and phase two. Phase three, things have changed. In addition, we will be dependent upon an operator coming in with a license to operate X-ray and ultrasound kind of equipment, and we don't have that license, and it costs $800,000 and change to get one. We didn't include that in our fundraising thing, did we, Barb?
No.
So there you go. we still haven't got hard numbers of what it would cost for us, because the walls have to be lined with lead, you know, for a proper x-ray facility. And so we still don't have hard numbers about what it would cost for us to fit out this facility for phase 3.
So a subsequent question to either you or you, sir. Does that move the needle on a $3 million price tag?
Does that move the needle on a $3 million?
Well, I believe, and I stand to be corrected, that the project was estimated to be $3 million. Does that mean that that's going to be changed?
I'm not sure where that $3 million came from,
Well,
but it didn't ever come from the committee. What we said was that phases 1 and 2 would be 1.2 million. We estimated that phase 3 would be 450,000. So we're still well under 2 million, not 3. But I don't want anybody to consider that phase 3 number of 450,000 to be a hard number.
Chris, do you have something to add to that?
This is from the, this is a question from the feed. This project is groundbreaking in so many ways. Has there been any thought given to documenting the process for the benefit of other communities?
Absolutely. The Association of Family Health Team of Ontario has invited us back, as I said, for next week for a webinar. And the sole purpose for this webinar is to share our fundraising model. It's unique amongst the health teams out there, and there's tremendous interest in finding out how we did what we did, how we got collaboration between probably one of the best kept secrets in any community, and that's your Rotary Club, as well as getting the town online and going from there. And it's marketing and it's fundraising, and they have to both be done at the same time. So hopefully that answers the question.
Yes, sir.
To speak just a bit to the clinical services, the program that Trish was alluding to was related to the Jane Philpott program, which extends out over 5 years. So we are actually made application for round 2, and there will be additional rounds all the way out to 2029. So the dollars that we're looking for additional services related to the recruitment of additional providers and supporting those providers. Round 2 now, round 3 next year, round 4 the year after, so there's lots of opportunity going forward.
So I don't know if everybody heard that from Dr. Cross, but Dr. Jane Philpott has a program in place. It's a 5-year model, if I heard you correctly, and there'll be opportunities for all the OHTs to apply for additional funding as we move forward on our project. So rest assured, phase 1 and phase 2, we've got them in our crosshairs. Phase 3 is icing on the cake, and if we can pull that off, wow. All I can say, there'd be so much more magic here. Stay tuned for phase 3. Any other questions here? Yes, Mark.
If I get directed to the member of provincial parliament, Mr. Smith, greeting to all of us, of course, there, right? So, healthcare services, and if I remember hearing just on this side first there, you were saying that you turned down some doctors because there wasn't space, but they were moved to different locations there. And everybody knows the situation with the South Muskoka Memorial Hospital, Huntsville District Memorial Hospital, the two hospitals there. Is, I guess through you to Graydon, to find out what is the province's position? Are they going to have money to share with this group here as part of an integrated project? So that with the new hospitals, be able to work here with these people with some funded services, I guess.
Well, how everything works together is up to the family health team and all the partners as to what they want to do. Let's not blur the line too much between hospitals and primary care. This is fundamentally a primary care project. and is being evaluated, on its merits based on the application that got sent in. And I'm the advocate to on behalf of everyone to try and get those dollars invested here to get more primary care access here today. The hospital piece is a longer term piece, as we know, about redevelopment over a number of years for acute care.
Right, because there has been some angst in the community that the hospital hasn't provided some services in further south Muskoka than it does now, right?
You'd have to speak to the hospital that they're serving.
Well, you were the mayor in Huntford, did you not, Bracebridge, I should say, and did you not see that situation there? Because you represent the Graveners, right?
Not sure what answer you're looking for here, Mark. There's a variety of services provided by the hospital, which has 2 sites. Those services are spread across 2 sites.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, and to Graydon's point, phase 1 and phase 2 is about attaching 6,000 permanent residents of Graveners to a primary healthcare provider and having access to all of the services that would come along with that. Phase 3 will just make life that much easier for all of those that do end up with a primary healthcare service provider. Yes?
Sorry, go ahead. I don't want to hug the floor. Go ahead.
What I think I'm hearing here is, and whether the committee looked at this from the get-go, is what is the risk factor? Is there a concern that we may get to a certain level and then the money dries up and we're left with a space semi-filled or something like that? Did they talk about that?
The Gravenhurst Health Hub Steering Committee spent tremendous amount of time and energy doing their due diligence on this project. And Bruce, if I can say this, and you correct me if I'm wrong, we know that we can finish phase 1 and phase 2 and then build it, and they will come, and we will be attaching some of those 6,000 permanent residents of our community to primary health care professionals. It will happen. Bruce, did you have anything else to add to that?
Well, in answer to your question, yes, we did a big time risk assessment of this project before we even got started. Like, I'm talking about November of 2024 is when we got started. We spent a fair amount of time strategically looking at what the big time risks were, because neither Cottage Country nor the Rotary team wanted to be involved in a project that was going to be so fraught with risk that we wouldn't be able to finish it. We have not only looked at what those risks are, but we are actively looking at what the risks are going to be over the next 8 to 12 months. And I can say to you that we will be ready for these risks and the problems and the bumps that come our way, because we are already anticipating what they are. We will finish the project, trust me.
Heidi.
I just wanted to add that, in my experience, we have been actively, we just met with the Minister of Health last week, Huntsville, Bracebridge, and and they are really receptive to out-of-the-box thinking. I was included in the AFTO presentation, and I got to hear Dr. Philpott speak. And we're checking all the boxes. Gravenhurst is doing, and our other communities we're doing everything right. We're meeting their targets as far as what we're doing as a community to lay the groundwork for successful recruitment. So, I mean, without the space, it's been made very clear, there's nowhere for them to go. There's no room at the inn. So as far as making space that's not going to be used, I think that's a problem I think that's a fantasy problem. And even if we weren't successful in recruiting as many spaces as there is, I think we've heard loud and clear that there's other providers that can use those spaces in the meantime. And maybe it's a hearing clinic, or we don't know what it looks like, but to think that this space is not going to be used, I think is just not possible.
So I think we have to like look at this as it is. It's a great news, you know, it's a great news story, a tremendous amount of work, and we are doing everything right to make the space welcoming and make us, people want to come here. So, you know, I'm not trying to say don't be a negative Nelly, Mark, but I think that we need to look at this as what it is. It's a fantastic opportunity for people to want to come to Gravenhurst, and I think that's where we should be, our focus should be today. So I just wanted to add that I think
Thank you, Heidi, for that. For those that may not know, Rotary is approached all the time with people looking for assistance in a variety of projects, fundraising, etc. We do our due diligence on all of them. Often we turn down requests. And when we do focus on a particular project, in this case the Gravenhurst Health Hub project, we do dive deep. We do our own due diligence. We ask the tough questions. And then when we decide, as the board of directors decides that we have something we'd like to present to the membership, it goes to the membership and they decide, because they are the engine that will drive our fundraising. And for what it's worth, when Bruce presented this last December 11th, I think it was, Bruce, we had a unanimous vote to forge ahead with this. And that was just the start. When we went to the town had tough questions for us as well. They just didn't say, here's money. And we had to present to them. We provided them with a tremendous amount of information. The same thing with the district. So we had a lot of eyes on this project in terms of, first of all, is it viable? Can it be done? Can it be done on time and on budget? And I feel pretty confident in concurring with Bruce. The answer to that is yes. Any other questions? Yeah.
One final one, if I may. With all the planning and the feasibility studies that you've done to come to this point, do you have an idea, an indication of how many staff or personnel will be occupying the premises? Like how many additional jobs this would mean for the community?
I'm going to turn that over to Trish or Dr. Kappels. Who would like to answer that?
I would say, again, that's really contingent. It's contingent on, like, we have a number of FTEs that we've asked the province for in our application. I don't know if we're gonna get that, right? Like, so it's a little bit of a conversation and a negotiation with the province if they want to. So I'd love to be able to tell you solidly, this is what we're looking at. I will say our goal is to have an additional 6 primary care practitioners proper to attach residents of Gravenhurst, and that's what we need for full attachment of unattached and under-attached, which means people who permanent residents here but may be connected to primary care elsewhere in the province. So that's our main goal, is to be able to increase the space to have those 6 primary care practitioners.
That's a huge,
and then
huge
some
progress.
IHPs.
Thank you.
So for those that didn't hear, we know there is a need, no spoilers, but we know there's an interest in family practitioners coming to Muskoka. We have so much to offer. What a beautiful place to come and live and work and raise your family. So again, I know I say it a lot, and I'll apologize for it, but stay tuned. Is there any other questions? I'm not sure if we have any on the online chat from those that are sitting at home in their Sheldon seat watching us. And I'm thinking of John Cooper. John, I'm sure, is sitting there watching this as well. Okay, we're getting ready to move on then. Last call for questions. Okay, everybody. It's been an interesting day for presentations. We have a video designed by Chris Mintz. It's just under 6 minutes, and I can assure you it wraps up the entire project, what we're about, what we're trying to achieve, and I'll turn it over to Chris.
Welcome to the town of Gravenhurst, Ontario. Population, 13,000.
6,000 unattached patients. Presently, our group of doctors here is looking after about 8,500 to 9,000 patients. And it's startling to think that there's still 5,000 or 6,000 people out there, you know, that need attachment to primary care.
For nearly 2 decades, this space sat empty while half of Gravenhurst residents lived without a primary health care provider. The vision: an expanded health hub serving all of South Muskoka. A place for primary care practitioners, diagnostics, mental health services, and more, all under one roof. This isn't just a project, it's a community movement.
To do something really good for Gravenhurst, so I wanted to donate to the Gravenhurst Health Hub, so people wouldn't have to drive so far to get to a hospital.
The Rotary Club of Gravenhurst brought together the town of Gravenhurst, the district of Muskoka, and countless generous citizens to make this dream a reality.
The effort is really directed at providing service to the patients that require it in South Muskoka. But the side benefit of that will be an attraction to any new physicians looking to establish in the area. That's being part of a facility that has that kind of servicing within the clinic, I think is a very attractive model for them.
When complete, the Gravenhurst Health Hub will bring new doctors to town, reduce ER visits, and ensure every resident has access to care.
And the result of it will be the ability to attach maybe all of these 6,000 patients that are out there still going to walk-in clinics, going to emerge further health care.
Help folk get care that are unattached. By having improved primary care in this section of South Muskoka, it will also take pressure off the hospital in the ER department, and also with some of their diagnostic testing, and also with some of the admissions, in that some folk who are seen in ER are seen and admitted because they haven't been able to access appropriate primary care.
There is a huge demand for primary care access and attaching patients across Ontario, and especially here in the Muskoka area. That offers extreme value to the community. It is going to be a huge benefit to the region when this amount of space opens up to bring in all of the various healthcare needs in the Muskoka, especially Gravenhurst area.
This is a bottom-up community kind of event. They want them to be involved in whatever way they possibly can to donate their time, talent, energy, and money if that's available, because this is truly a community event.
This is a community coming together to solve the healthcare crisis. The Gravenhurst Health Hub project, because everyone deserves care.
Okay, everybody, we're just about there. If you go to either the Gravenhurst Health Hub website or Facebook page, or the Rotary Club of Gravenhurst website or Facebook page, you'll find a tremendous amount of information available that might answer some of your questions after you leave here today. And if not, there is a section there where you can reach out and type in a question, and we'll do our very best to get you the answer and get back to you. Barb McCabe, when she was up here for fundraising, mentioned an entire roster of events that have been lined up starting in April right through to the month of August. We're already working in October, correct, Barb? With the lip sync contest. Mark on your calendars, July 23rd, Town Hall Part 2, where we hope to be able to report back on all the progress that's made between now and then. That will be at the Opera House. August 14th is another good day to keep in mind. It'll be the Winona 2 fundraising cruise. It's not just a cruise. This will be a legacy cruise for a legacy project. We've got a number of sponsors lined up already for this project, and we include in this particular cruise, there'll be a live band featuring the music of Gordon Lightfoot. There's going to be an online auction. Sorry, not an online auction. It'll be the old-fashioned silent auction on board that will start and end on board, and of course a dinner downstairs. So at this point, I'd like to invite Tina and Barb over to pick up those very, very sharp knives and cut some cake. Thank you, everybody, for coming today.
I know. We're doing this. I like that. I'll do my side. Okay. All right. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, smile.
Okay, here we go.
Catherine. Big moment.
Good.
What do you think? Too generous?
That's good. Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay, where's Denise to help us with the...
I wasn't in the... Was I in the way, Catherine?
So that's good news, right? Let's start.
That's a big Okay, that's good.
Would you like me to help? Yes, please. What would you like me to do? I'd like you to help.
Oh, look at that, Denise. It is two colors. There's chocolate on Barb's side and vanilla on Tina's side.
It's a chocolate. So I'm going to hand it over. Yeah. And whoever would like to.
So you'll give me a minute. I'm kidding.
come, you get a corner piece, and you get chocolate. You must be the treasurer of some organization.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know. I'm the contact for the ukulele group. I did audition class.
Oh, fantastic. Hey, Barbara.
Nice to
It's a pleasure to meet you.
So once I've got the music, because Bonnie was suggesting a screen so that everybody can join in singing. So I'll let you know. How are you? I'm good. Whatever it is.
Sounds good. Well, we'll have some fun with
And
it.
then we'll decide how many pieces you want.
Sounds good. All right, well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Penny. I mean, it's nothing compared to those gingerbread cookies, but shortbread. Why is it gingerbread? I don't want to hate you. I'm going to come back. I'll come back for one. Thank you.